welcome to the Speak Uneasy, a safe space where cancel culture does not exist because we are in a different prohibition era.
You're very exceptionary. No dictionary can define what's genuinely indescribable. Very exceptionary. No ordinary phrase can capture you. Now some might say that you're tremendous. You are so much more stupendous, so magnificent, so magnanimous. If we voted, it'd be unanimous. Very exceptionary. This temporary phrase we'll have to do. It's true for my very exceptionary you. Exceptionary. No dictionary can define what's genuinely indescribable. Very exceptional. was so magnificent, so magnanimous. If we voted, it'd be unanimous. Very exceptionary. This temporary phrase we'll have to do, it's true, for my very exceptionary. For my very exceptionary you.
Good evening, and welcome to another episode of the Speak Uneasy with your host, the Bartender. Tonight's random read is going to come off of the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verses 36, pardon me, through 51. God knows the day and hour. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came, and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Then shall two be in the field, the one shall be taken, and the other left. Two women shall be grinding at the mill, the one shall be taken, and the other left. Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doth come. But know this, that if the goodman of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched, and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. Therefore be ye also ready, for in such as hour as ye think not the Son of Man cometh. Who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his Lord hath made ruler over his household, to give them meat in due season? Blessed is that servant whom is Lord when he cometh shall find so doing. Verily I say unto you, that he shall make him ruler over his goods. And if that evil servant shall say in his heart, my Lord delayeth his coming, and shall begin I'm sorry, I can't read today. I can't see. And shall begin to smite his fellow servants to eat and drink with the drunken. The Lord of the servant shall come in a day when he looketh not for him, and in an hour that he is not aware of, and shall cut him asunder, and appoint him his portion with the hypocrites. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Once again, this random read comes from the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verses 36 through 51. God knows the day and hour. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming over to the bar tonight. We're going to continue our reading of the book of Matthew, and it just so happened my daughter picked this random read today out of the blue, and we're going to be hitting, I think, chapter 25 is the next chapter that we're gonna hit. And amazingly, like, this random read was chosen by my daughter, which is the last portion of chapter 24, and then goes into chapter 25. So yes, it's a good pick because of the things that are going on right now. Even though it seems that we're getting really close to it, and I think we are, you still have to be spiritually prepared, right? We have to be prepared for everything to come. And a lot of people like to prep, with food, ammo, guns, water, but they forget to prepare themselves spiritually. In my bug out bag that I have, I did not forget to pack the Bible with me. I want to be able to be covered in every angle in case stuff does hit the fan. And I really lean a lot on God being my provider. I really do. I walked away from from a profession that paid so well. I left security. I mean, when I say security, it was a for sure paycheck coming in every time, but I think there was a purpose for me to leave, and I'm actually glad that I did, because now I'm beginning to learn a lot about myself and the importance of my relationship and how much that this relationship has molded me to rely on God a lot, which is what we should be doing. I mean, we tend to forget that, when God created earth and put Adam and Eve on the earth, that Adam and Eve was supposed to rely on God to be their provider, but unfortunately that's not the way things panned out. So I'm very fortunate to it's a big risk that I took, but nonetheless it has definitely changed the person that I am. I definitely don't I'm not like my old self. There's a lot of things about me that I'm not like anymore. I don't cuss as much as one of them. I mean, I still do. I still get angry too with some of the videos that I watch on a daily, but like I don't get emotionally sucked into these, even though it's happening around us. I don't get sucked in emotionally to it, and I start to pray. I never used to do this. I used to just get angry and fumed up and emotionally, like I would yell at the freaking screen. I kind of still do that with some things, but not as much as before. And when I find myself kind of losing track of God, I start praying, and I never used to do that. Never used to do that at all. I'm a lot more, how do I say? I'm a lot more social with people too. I'm a very introverted person. Well, I mean, I really was introverted, especially being in law enforcement. You tend to want to be around people who are like-minded, because they understand the same thing that you do. And, sometimes being around a civilian, they don't understand the things that law enforcement people go through on a daily basis, and they don't understand the humor, and they just don't understand the communication. And you just want to be around people that think alike, kind of like this community, right? We want to be surrounded by like-minded people. And law enforcement was definitely like that too. But now, it seems like I want to be able to create relationships with people and I don't know, bring some kind of positivity to them, and it's cool because, being a full-time DJ now, and I wasn't even thinking about doing the whole DJ bit full-time. That came about probably last year, maybe August or September, when I had to rethink about what I was going to do to make a living. And, I'm very blessed that God's given me the talent to do DJing since I was 12. And it's been a struggle, but, hey, God's been providing me with jobs, and very grateful. Not to mention that we do like this is a family thing, so I'm definitely grown more closer to my family, which is another plus. It never used to be like this. I used to work so much that even though I would go home to my family, I would still feel detached from my family because I worked midnights for one. So during the day when they're awake, I'm asleep. And then during the nighttime, I'm off to work. And I did this. I worked a lot. I would, and mind you, we have for our shifts, we work like we work 12-hour shifts. So it's it's no joke, man. It's no joke. It becomes a very long day, especially if you're working overtime and you do that for like 2 weeks straight with really lack of sleep. You get very irritable. And you just don't want to have to deal with things at home because you're just so tired, and having to deal with the things you deal with in the line of work. You just want to be left alone, So, yeah. But now I'm very fortunate. God has blessed me. He's blessed me so much. And, I never thought it would turn out this way. But hey, we're here now. And although I don't have as much as I used to financially, I have a lot more than I used to when it comes to real things in my life and things that matter, like my family and my friends and myself. I have myself, So I thank God for that every day. I missed a big portion of my son's life because of my job, and it was going in that direction with my daughter, but now, nope. I'm home all the time, working on DJ stuff. A lot of the times my daughter and I can work together on DJ stuff, and it's a joy just to see her play, practice. Like yesterday, she was practicing because I told her, hey, look, dude, you got to start practicing because sometimes I won't be able to coach you and tell you what songs to play, so you have to learn the songs yourself. And it was a joy watching her just play, It was amazing because, I don't know, something that I'm sharing with my daughter, man. It's just badass. Anyhow, that's my little talk before we get into the book of Matthew here. So let me go here. Oh, by the way, I do want to share. So after we go through the book of Matthew today, there is a movie that I really want to share with you guys. I'm really excited to share this movie. I hope it plays, man. I was having problems with it earlier today because I was kind of testing it out. So if it doesn't play, I will be sharing another video with you guys. But there is a movie that I really want to share, and I think this movie would be. I think people can learn from it. I think people can actually learn from it because I know when I first saw this movie out in the movie theaters. Man, and mind you, I think this film came out in 2015. The relationship, and it has to deal with a couple, a married couple, and their relationship. I was going through a really rough time with my marriage at the time, to the point where I really didn't want to be married anymore too. And I wanted to see other people because I wasn't getting what I thought a married man should get. But like I said, man, even though I made great money with my job as a law enforcement sheriff's deputy, I paid the price in other ways, man. Like the relationship between my wife and I was horrible. And a big part of that was because I spent so much time at home, and I think she got used to that, and I got used to that, and we just kind of grew apart for a little bit. But and it's weird because I had this conversation with my son the other day about how important it is to have a relationship with God, because God is definitely, he saved me from a lot of things. You know, I told my son, I remember one time when I was 18 years old where I should have died drowning. I should have died, but I didn't. He saved me. And then the few times that I got into a lot of sticky situations, I got out of them. I don't know how. I don't know why. I mean, now I do. And I know now. I know why now, but I don't know how I got out of a lot of the sticky situations I got involved in. And then almost losing my family, I think about 3 times, two or three times. For sure 2 times. There could have been a third time, but I almost lost my family, man. I almost lost my family. And if I had lost my family the first time, my daughter would even be here right now, to be honest. So, you know, I thank God every day that he's blessed me so with such a great wife who still stuck around, you know, who still stuck around despite the immature stuff that I did in, you know, early on in our marriage, and then having to tolerate my BS because of lack of sleep and working a lot later down the line of the years, whatever. Anyhow, let's go ahead and get into the book of Matthew. Let me bring it over here. I hope you guys have your KJVs with you. It's always good to read along with your own KJVs. Get familiar with your Bible if you're not. There might be many of you out there who are way familiar than I am. I am still a baby in this, but you know what, man? Doing this, reading scripture, getting to know God even more, it's almost as if it's a more better feeling than when I first started waking up to what was going on around the world, because this brings it to another level of truth seeking. It really does. And to mention the fact that there have been a lot of unusual blessings that just come that blows my mind. You know, it's miracle like stuff, you know, that's happened to me. And I'm very grateful. And I mean, with the experiences that I've had so far, God is definitely real. And if people don't want to believe that, then I feel sorry for them, you know? I really do. They're missing out on something so beautiful, something so great, something that the world is missing so much, you know? And it's sad. It's very sad. Okay. Let's start here with chapter 25 of Matthew, starting from verse 1. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. I think we read this during my Saturday worship. I think it was either Friday or Saturday that we were reviewing this, I think. That they were foolish took their lamp. They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. Okay. I think we should listen to this too. You want to be able to have all the supplies you need when the time comes, including your Bible. I'm telling you, because part of the survival thing is keeping your sanity and keeping your spirituality. If you have a great relationship with God, you're not going to lose your mind. You know what I mean? You're going to be of sound mind. You're going to understand why things are happening. So, anyhow, while the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Then all the virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said to the wise, Give us your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, Not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. But go ye rather to them that sell, and buy for yourself. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. So those guys missed out. Those guys missed out because they went to go buy some oil. They weren't prepared. Afterward came also other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, Verily I say unto you, I know you not. Man, that is something I never want to face. You know, that is something I would never want to face. And this is the reason for this show. You know, I really care about people's salvation, especially good people. You know, not to say that you know, I don't want this for bad people, because people, you know, we can repent, and we have second chances. So, you know, I'm a big proponent on redemption, because I've messed up a lot in my life, and I've been given so many chances to change, and I've taken advantage of those chances given to me. You know, it may not have been right away, but you know, I think part of getting old is becoming wise to take what you can get when it comes to redeeming yourself to being a better person. And you kind of learn stuff too on the way. So, watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh. For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants, and delivered unto them his goods. And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, to every man according to his several ability. The straightway took his journey. Then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same, and made them other 5 talents. And likewise, he that had received 2, he also gained other 2. But he that had received 1 went and digged in the earth, and hid the Lord's money. After a long time the Lord of those servants cometh, and reckoneth with them. And so he that had received 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou deliveredest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 talents more. His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. He also that had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents beside them. His Lord said unto him, Well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. Then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that art an hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast that is thine. His Lord answered and said unto him, Thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knowest that I reap where I sowed not, and gather where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchangers, and then at my coming I should have received my own with usury. Take therefore the talent from him, and give it unto him which hath 10 talents. For unto every one that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that hath not shall be taken away even that which he hath. And cast ye the unprofitable servant into our outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So here's my take on that. So we're given this life, right? We're given this life that God has given to us. And there's a purpose for this life, right? We're all servants of God. So it is our duty. It is our duty to do what God wants us to do. Now, I think the reason why I'm behind the mic doing the show or whatever is to bring more people to God. I believe that, even though I'm not a preacher material or anything like that. I'm just I'm just a normal dude, who's still a baby in this. But if it's one thing I can share is my experience, and I can tell you right now that, and I know I say this. I've said this many times before that I was never this type of dude, never. And for those who are not, those of you who don't have that relationship, there will be a calling, man. There will be a calling. Whether you like it or not, there will be a calling. And sometimes the calling could bug you. It could be so strong where you just keep ignoring it, but it'll get to you. And once the calling is there, you gotta act upon it. You gotta figure out how you're gonna multiply your one life into something more. Now, what I mean by that is, so I'm a single life, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bring more people to have that relationship with Christ. And it's kind of like this story right here. Like, I'm using the life that he's given me to do the best I can to bring people unto him. The most powerful thing I have is my testimony of experiences that I go through. That's the only thing. But I think testimonies are very powerful things, because even though sometimes it's hard to explain testimonies, you can hear how genuine it is from somebody's voice. Even better, if you see them in person, the body language, you'll be able to look into their eyes. You'll be able to see how the body meshes at the same time the words are coming out. You're going to see if the words are jiving with what the body, or the body's jiving with what the words are saying, I believe that I'm trying to, I don't know, I guess you can say that I'll be blessed with a kingdom if I'm able to at least bring one person to Christ. And I'm not necessarily doing this to gain any reward from God. I'm doing it because it's the right thing, I think having this relationship with God too is one of those things where you don't do things in order for you to gain something from it. You do it because it's the right thing. If it's one thing that I've learned in law enforcement is, integrity is a big thing, where you're doing the right thing even when nobody's watching. You're doing the right thing no matter what. And that's probably one of the biggest things I took from that job, is having to do things, the right things, even though nobody's looking. And I'm also beginning to learn that some of the good deeds that you do you don't need to brag about it either. Because at that point, You're just making yourself want to look good. It's kind of different when you're behind a mic though. When I'm doing a show behind a mic, I'm explaining a story, right? I'm not necessarily doing it for any kind of thing for myself to feel good. I'm just trying to tell you a story with my experiences. So I hope I don't come out as somebody who's vain, because I'm not. I'm nobody near. I'm nowhere near being vain. I hate taking pictures too. So, if it's one thing, I just want to be able to do the right thing. Anyhow, let's go ahead and continue on here. Starting from verse 30, and cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness, there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. I read that part. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. And before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. Man, I tell you, dude, like, I would not want to be a goat. I would not want to be a goat, that's for sure. I do not want to be a goat. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand and the goats on the left. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come ye, blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was an hungered, and ye gave me meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me drink. I was a stranger, and ye took me in. Naked, and ye clothed me. I was sick, and ye visited me. I was in prison, and ye came unto me. Man, okay, so I have to share this story. I'm gonna pause it right there with we'll pause it with 37. So today, a few hours before the show, there's this guy I used to work with, and actually we were academy classmates. We were both in the same academy class. The dude got in trouble because he did some unethical things. He actually committed a crime too, and he lost his job. And I think he went to I think he may have went to prison for what he did. And I wasn't a big fan of the guy. Off the bat, like, I can tell that he was a very cocky dude. He was the type of dude that likes to talk down onto people. He was one of those guys, and I think he would stir stuff up with like inmates just to get a reaction and just to get into some stuff just for the hell of it, right? So anyhow, he loses his job, and he goes, I think he may be in prison, I don't know, but I know he got in trouble for what he did. And he can never be a cop again. Anyhow, for some odd reason, I was thinking about the dude today, like just a few hours ago. And I heard his name, like in my mind, I heard his name, right? I heard his name, and it almost sounded like a plea for help. So, being that I'm a lot more spiritual now, I started praying for the guy. Yeah, I never, like, I just didn't like the guy, but now that I look back, I kind of pity his situation now, because he's down. He's on a down on his life right now. So I started praying for the guy, and it was just weird. It was just weird how that revelation came to my head, out of the blue. His name just popped up. I heard his name, and I hope everything is okay with him. If he's in prison, I don't think it's going to be an easy thing. it's not easy to live life in prison being an ex-cop for sure, because, you know, you might encounter somebody that you put in prison. So I prayed hard for him, and we'll see what happens, you know. We'll see what happens. But I just thought that was kind of just reading that verse right there. That kind of came to mind. Anyhow, and continue on. From 37, then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee and hungered, and fed thee, or thirsty, and gave thee drink? When saw we thee a stranger, and took thee in, or naked, and clothed thee? Or when we saw we thee sick or in prison, and came unto thee? And the king shall answer and say unto them, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me. And this is why I'm so glad that I prayed for the guy, because I don't know what he's going through right now. And he's in a very low point of his life right now. Even though I did not like him, that doesn't mean I shouldn't have to pray for him. You know what I mean? I think I found it in my heart to kind of just let that go and let things be. So I started praying for the guy, man. And I and his family, because I think he has like 2 kids. I think he has two kids. And I feel real bad. I really do. I sincerely do. You know, and I used to be, my heart used to be so hardened that I wouldn't even care. I would be like, yeah, that's good for him. He deserved it. But now it's like I can't be that kind of person anymore. I just can't, you know? Unless it's something like very flagrant against me or my family, then that, you know, but of course I'm going to feel a certain way. But he didn't necessarily do anything to my family. It's just his attitude was one of the things I just didn't like about him. But that's neither here nor there, because now I'm concerned about him, that I had to pray for him today. Verses 41. Then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, Depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was an hungered, and ye gave me no meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me no drink. This is exactly why I had to pray, because I don't want to be a goat. I just don't. I was a stranger, and ye took me not in, naked, and ye clothed me not, sick and in prison, and ye visited me not. Then shall they also answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee and hungered, or athirst, or a stranger, or naked, or sick, or in prison, and did not minister unto thee? Then shall he answer them, saying, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye did it not to one of the least of these, ye did it not to me. And these shall go away into everlasting punishment, but the righteous into eternal life. Amen to that, man. Amen to that. Chapter 26, from verse 1. And it came to pass, when Jesus had finished all these sayings, he said unto his disciples, Ye know that after 2 days in the feast of the Passover, and the Son of Man is betrayed to be crucified. So he was giving his he was predicting the future. He was giving a prophecy. Then assembled together the chief priests and the scribes and the elders of the people unto the palace of the high priest, who was called Caiaphas. Man, what a douchebag. and consulted that they might take Jesus by subtlety and kill him. But they said, not on the feast day, lest there be an uproar among the people. So so you see how these people were working in darkness? That's exactly how the devil works. The devil works in darkness, right? Where people don't see. He's very sneaky. Let's see. And consulted that they might take Jesus by subtlety and kill him. Okay. But they said, not on the feast day, lest there be an uproar among the people. Now when Jesus was in Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor. And Jesus understood it, and said unto them, why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. For in that she hath poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this, that this woman hath done, be told for a memorial of her. Was he talking about Mary Magdalene? I think he was. Then one of the 12, called Judas Iscariot, went unto the chief priests, and said unto them, what will ye give me? And I will deliver him unto you. And they covenanted with him for 30 pieces of silver. Oh boy, Judas. Why did you? Well, it had to happen. It had to happen. Kind of like what things are, kind of the things that are happening right now, right? It has to happen. It just has to. And from that time he sought opportunity to betray him. Now the first day of the feast of unleavened bread, the disciples came to Jesus, saying unto him, where wilt thou that we prepare for thee to eat the Passover? And he said, go into the city to such a man, and say unto him, the master saith, my time is at hand. I will keep the Passover at thy house with my disciples. And the disciples did as Jesus had appointed them, and they made ready the Passover. Now when the even was come, he sat down with the 12. And as they did eat, he said, verily I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me. Oh. Can you imagine if you were Judas? I mean, I would be freaking out like, oh, dang, he knows. I'll be like, dang, he knows, man. That would freak me out. That would freak me out. And I wonder how Judas felt. Like, why couldn't Judas just say to himself, oh man, he knows, dude, I better just not do it. I understand it had to happen, but can you imagine how dude, his stomach must have dropped. His heart must have dropped to his stomach and had that oh snap feeling, if you know what I'm saying. Now when the even was come, he sat down with the 12. And as they did eat, he said, verily I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me. And they were exceeding sorrowful, and began every one of them to say unto him, Lord, is it I? Man, Judas knows it was him. And he answered and said, he that dippeth his hand with me in the dish, the same shall betray me. Oh, man. Okay, so he's saying this, but it still happens. This is crazy, man. The Son of Man goeth as it is written of him. But woe unto that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It had been good for that man if he had not been born. Judas had to have known that God, like, that Jesus was talking about him. He had to. Then Judas, which betrayed him, answered and said, Master, is it I? This dude acting like it wasn't, like he didn't make a deal with the freaking Pharisees. He said unto him, Thou hast said. And as they were eating, Jesus took bread and blessed it, and brake it, and gave it to the disciples, and said, Take, eat. This is my body. And he took the cup and gave thanks and gave it to them, saying, Drink ye all of it, for this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins. Praise Jesus for doing this for us, man. Praise Jesus for doing this for us. But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of the fruit of the vine until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom. Man, I'm really looking forward to that time. I really am. And I really hope I make it to heaven, man. I really hope I do. And when they had sung a hymn, they went out into the Mount of Olives. Then Jesus said unto them, All ye shall be offended because of me this night. For it is written, I will smite the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock shall be scattered abroad. But after I am risen again, I will go before you into Galilee. Peter answered and said unto him, man, there's a lot of things that went on that night. He's calling out somebody who's going to betray him, and then now I think we're going to get into the Peter thing here. Peter answered and said unto him, Though all men shall be offended because of thee, yet will I never be offended. Jesus said unto him, here it is, Verily I say unto thee, that this night before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice. There's another prophecy right there, man. He's telling Peter, like, yo, dude, you know, you're saying you're talking big, but when it comes down to it, you're gonna say that you don't even know who I am. Peter said unto him, Though I should die with thee, yet will I not deny thee. Likewise, also said all the disciples. They sure do talk a big game, right? When it came, when they were with Jesus, when Jesus was saying that, you know, to Peter that he was going to deny him 3 times, and all the apostles were talking a big game, but when it came down to it, man, they were hiding. They hid. Then cometh Jesus with them unto a place called Gethsemane, and saith unto the disciples, Sit ye here, while I go and pray yonder. And he took with him Peter and the 2 sons of Zebedee, and began to be sorrowful and very heavy. Then saith he unto them, My soul is exceeding sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry ye here, and watch with me. And he went a little further, and fell on his face, and prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt. So check this out. He had a choice. Like, he could have just not went through this whole thing, right? But the loyalty to his Father is so strong that he even said, if it's your will, let it happen. That is heavy. That's very heavy. I don't know if a lot of us would ever go through that, even if it was God's will. I'd be scared. I'd be really scared to go through some stuff like that, even if it was God's will. I don't know. To be honest, I really don't know if I would or if I wouldn't. I don't know. I want to say, yeah, I would, but, I'd be lying to myself if I did not, if I had a little doubt in myself saying, yeah, I don't know if I can do that. I think my honest answer would be, I don't know if I would be able to do it, And he cometh unto the disciples, and findeth them asleep, and saith unto Peter, What, could ye not watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray, that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. Oh, man. Oh. Jesus is right about that. People could have the spirit to do things, but sometimes the flesh just gets the best of us. I mean, fasting is one thing, right? Because I'm trying to do this fasting thing for spiritual reasons, not for like dietary reasons. I'm trying to do it for spiritual reasons. I tell you, man, it's a tough thing. It's a tough thing. I mean, I'm limiting myself to like a smoothie a day, but I can't even hang with it. I'm trying to, and I pray to God saying, Lord, please, feed me some spiritual manna for me to be filled, so I don't have to rely on getting food. And it's hard. It's hard. I'm trying to do it. I'm trying as hard as I can, because I honestly think that the fasting for spiritual reasons is a good thing, because you're denying yourself, right? You're trying to have self-control, and you're making God just put yourself on autopilot. It's a hard thing. It's difficult. I admit it's difficult. It's very difficult. Anyhow, let's read on here from verse 41. Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. He went away again the second time and prayed, saying, O my Father, if this cup may not pass away from me, except I drink it, thy will be done. And he came and found them asleep again. Man, for their eyes were heavy. And he had left them, and went away again, and prayed the third time, saying the same words. Then cometh he to his disciples, and said unto them, Sleep on now, and take your rest. Behold, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of the sinners. Rise, let us be going. Behold, he is at hand that doth betray me. And while he yet spake, lo, Judas, one of the 12, came, and with him a great multitude with swords and staves, from the chief priests and elders of the people. Now he that betrayed him gave them a sign, saying, Whomsoever I shall kiss, that same is he, hold him fast. And forthwith he came to Jesus, and said, Hail, Master, and kissed him. Dude, what a way to betray Jesus, huh? With a kiss. And Jesus said unto him, Friend, wherefore art thou come? Then came they, and laid hands on Jesus, and took him. And behold, one of them which were with Jesus stretched out his hand, and drew his sword, and struck a servant of the high priest's, and smote off his ear. Then said Jesus unto him, Put up again thy sword into his place, for all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. Thinkest thou that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels? But how then shall the scriptures be fulfilled, that thus it must be? In that same hour saith Jesus to the multitudes, Are ye come out as against a thief with swords and staves for to take me? I sat daily with you teaching in the temple, and ye laid no hold on me. But all this was done, that the scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled. Then all the disciples forsook him and fled. And they that had laid hold on Jesus led him away to Caiaphas the high priest, where the scribes and the elders were assembled. But Peter followed him afar off unto the high priest's palace, and went in, and sat with the servants to see the end. Now the chief priests, the elders, and the council sought false witness against Jesus to put him to death, but found none. Yea, though many false witnesses came, yet found they none. At the last came 2 false witnesses, and said, This fellow said, I am able to destroy the temple of God and to build it in 3 days. Dude, these people did not even understand what he said. They didn't understand, man. He was the temple. Jesus was the temple. And he rebuilt it on his resurrection. They didn't understand, man. They thought that he was speaking literally. You know, it's so true about how he explained why he had to teach in parables is for those, because the people who understood the parables are the people of God, and the people who don't understand the parables are not the people of God. And don't get me wrong, because a lot of people don't understand the parables. That doesn't mean that you're not of God. That, you know, if you sink yourself into it and learn and start to begin to understand, then you're going to be of God. It takes studying and practice, of course, you know, willingly. But it just shows what God meant about, or what Jesus meant about him speaking in parables, man. It makes total sense, because he's not hiding anything. You just have to have the understanding of what is being said. And I think only the people of God can understand that. And the high priest arose and said unto him, Answerest thou nothing? What is it which these witness against thee? But Jesus held his peace. And the high priest answered and said unto him, I adjure thee by the living God, that thou tell us whether thou be the Christ, the Son of God. Jesus said unto him, Thou hast said, Nevertheless I say unto you, hereafter shall ye see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power and coming in the clouds of heaven. Powerful words, man. Then the high priest rent his clothes, saying, He has spoken blasphemy. What further need have we of witnesses? Behold now, ye have heard his blasphemy. What think ye? They answered and said, He is guilty of death. Then did they spit in his face and buffeted him, and others smote him with the palms of their hands. And these guys think they're so righteous, but yet they do these kind of things to him, saying, Prophesy unto us, thou Christ, who is he that smote thee? Now Peter sat without in the palace, and a damsel came unto him, saying, Thou also wast with Jesus of Galilee. But he denied before them all, saying, I know not what thou sayest. And when he was gone out into the porch, another maid saw him, and said unto them that were there, This fellow was also with Jesus of Nazareth. And again he denied with an oath, I do not know the man. Man, we can learn from this. We can learn from this, peeps. We can definitely learn from this. You know, even if it means the ultimate sacrifice, the ultimate sacrifice will be totally worth it, I think. And when he was gone out into the porch, okay, I read that part. And again he denied it. He denied with an oath, I do not know the man. And after a while came unto him they that stood by, and said to Peter, surely thou also art one of them, for thy speech beareth thee. They began he to curse and to swear, saying, I know not the man. And immediately the cock crew. Man, his heart must have dropped. And Peter remembered the word of Jesus, saying, which said unto him, before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice. And he went out and wept bitterly. All right, well, I think we're going to stop here on chapter 26. But that's a lot. I really enjoy the book of Matthew. I really do. And granted, this is the first book we're reading. I really loved how there's so many things in the book of Matthew. There's so many things. Not only the experiences of the last moments of Christ, not only the teachings of what Christ was preaching about, also prophecy. There's prophecy in this book. It's cool. It's cool. I'm going to put the next chapter there for the next time. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and kill the streams for the other platforms for now. Let me bring you guys back to the bar here. Boom. Let me go ahead and kill the streams for the other platforms here so I can get this video started. If you want to come by and watch the movie, we are on pilled.net, the foxhole.app, or I am going to keep Twitch on. I am on Twitch as the Speak Uneasy 20 on Twitch. So feel free to go to any of those platforms if you want to stick around for the movie. So good night to you on YouTube. Hope you have a blessed night, even though there's nobody